All right, you egg-sucking piece of gutter trash. You always liked pushing around people smaller than you. Well, I'm smaller. Try pushing me!
What's up, collectors? P-Rockzilla back again with another review, and this is going to be a review on a figure that I missed out on the first release, and I'm super happy that they did a reissue, kind of like a reissue, re-release of this figure, just different packaging, different accessories. So this is the MEZCO 112 Wolverine, and this is the yellow and blue suit. The first one, I can't remember, if I could be wrong. I think the yellow and blue came out first, and then the brown and orange one came out after. So I do have the other one. I do have Old Man Logan, which you will see as some of the final poses. And this was the one I did miss that I needed to complete, or at least to finish off or continue my Jim Lee X-Men figures in 112 scale. Unfortunately, you know, Hot Toys doesn't make the actual comic book cartoon versions of the X-Men figures. Right now, So Toys is like they're tackling that on the 112 scale with the X-Men comic book cartoon. To me, the Jim Lee type X-Men. That's my favorite X-Men, the Jim Lee type X-Men. So this one came out and I had to get this pre-ordered as soon as it was announced because I did not want to miss out on this guy again. And I love the packaging so far. So let's get this review started. Dale.
Tequila.
So let's go ahead and take a look at this nice tin case or box, whatever you want to call it. And I love that MEZCO does these for these. They usually do these for these PX ones, but once in a while they have the like special ones that they do this tin case for. And this brings me back to when I was a kid and I had these tin lunch boxes with the mug in there and everything. Like, it just brings back memories of being a kid. And this is why I love it. It has the same exact feel of those tin lunch boxes. You can make hear the sound. Of course, you have the beautiful Jim Lee drawing right there of Wolverine, X-Men, Wolverine, Marvel, MEZCO 112 right here. Beside here, you got another drawing of Wolverine right there, which is a nice drawing right there. You have the X-Men logo with the MEZCO right here. And give me 1 second. It's like my focus is off. There we go. And then right here, another picture of drawing of Wolverine right there. Same drawing, X-Men again. And then this is kind of weird because if you look at the packaging right here, this is the right side. But then when you flip it the other way, it's upside down. So I don't know if that was intentional or whatnot. But you get the same picture of Wolverine right there. Cereal bar right there. Some more information right there. All right, let's go ahead and get this tin case opened up so we can get Wolvie and all his accessories out the case. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take this top cover of the tin off. And then if you take that top cover off, you are greeted this one MEZCO 112 foil there that's attached to the bottom right there. And then you get this little instructions right here of the, let's bring this ISO a little bit down right there. Get instructions for the base that comes in there, how to swap out some of the other pieces. And then you get this nice little piece right here. See, and then even this to me, compared to the Hot Toys, this feels a little more premium too. Maybe the tin or something, but I'm not sure. Just I wish, you know, it was something different for Hot Toys. But anyways, you get two layers. You get the first layer that has the figure there, and a lot of the accessories he does come with. Then you get another layer on the bottom right here that has the base. Oh, look, it even comes with the batteries. The batteries, and not the cell ones. It's like AAA batteries. That's good, or AA. The stand and everything else that comes in the bottom. So this is nicely well packaged, and I love the amount of things this Wolverine comes with, and the different face scopes, or head scopes. So let's go ahead and get Wolverine out so we can take a close look at everything that comes in the package in fine detail. And now we have everything out in the open so we can take a close look in good detail what comes in the package except for the batteries and the MEZCO baggie. Those are only two things not displayed in here. There's no point in having those. But as always, let's go ahead and take a look at the figure first. And you can see this guy does come with a lot of stuff. So he does come equipped already with the old school original Logan mask on. And I gotta admit, you know, when I saw the pictures for this, promo pictures for this figure, I was like, oh, that's an ugly mask. But seeing it in person, man, I kind of like it a little bit more and more. Obviously, I'm not going to display him with this mask on, as this is not my Wolverine with this old school mask on, but it is looks pretty good in person. I like it. So it looks like it, just like it. You see his eyes right there. Then you have the MEZCO soft goods right here. This is the hard plastic. Of course, hard plastic. You can see the hair on his arms, which is like drawn. It feels like it's drawn and sculpted in there. You feel like the slots, everything where the hair is at. Get the hard plastic X-Men belt. This, if I remember correctly, is different. I'm not sure because I didn't have the original one. Oh no, it is soft. This is soft good. I thought this was a hard plastic, but you do see the stitching right here, so that tells me it is a soft good. But it looks better from the first one from the first release. Of course, you got the pattern right here, the tiger stripe patterns. Then you get the legs going down. See, and this is one thing. I know some people try to say sometimes these MEZCO figures look like pajamas almost, like the fabric they use. But this fabric to me is, in my experience, better than the Hot Toys fabric, where this you can keep posed for a long time, and this tends to heal back and cure itself. I get that, get the pun. Wolverine curing, self-healing. But anyways, this cures itself where the creases will disappear after some time when you straighten it out. And I wish Hot Toys kind of had like something like this, but maybe like, you know, something a little bit better since you're paying higher price. And this is what I like about the MEZCO. This is the reason why I stick to MEZCO when it comes to my cartoon-based figures. You know, my cartoon Marvel stuff, I stick to the MEZCO because in my opinion, MEZCO does more of the comic look better, a little bit better. I'm not into like the MCU movie stuff. I'm more into the comic look. But yeah, so this is Wolverine, man. It looks good. No tiene culo, pero, you know, it's Wolverine, so whatever. Then you got the treads in the bottom. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the articulation on Wolverine. So Wolverine can go full 360, Exorcist style. He can get pivot on the neck this way. You do get some articulation with the neck down here, because you can see you can push that down a little bit. So with that, he can look really far down, but you do have that gap there. Then you can push that neck back up, and you can have Wolverine look fully far up, because you know he is shorter. So a lot of times he is looking up at Wolverine and some of the other people he's fighting. All right, and then you get, let's see, the neck. All right, so that neck doesn't really move sideways, so you get that. All right, so arms can go. You got to be careful with the shoulder plate here. But it looks like arms can go pretty far up. Not too far up. Let's see. Got to be careful when you're pushing these joints. I want to be, you know, trying to push too much pressure on the bicep because it looks like it could break a peg or something. So you can do a typical T-pose. And see the arms. You do get, is it double jointed? Yep, it is double jointed, but it is hindered a little bit at this portion right here. As you can see right there. This part hinders some of the articulation, but you do get double jointed elbows. The bicep and the gloves are rubbing against each other. You do get twist at the bicep. You do get that. Let's bring this back down. And let's see how far forward. All right, so this is what you want to be careful with. Oh, there it goes. All right, so that's what I want to see right there. So the shoulder piece does peg into there, so it will probably come out sometimes. The good thing to know, it does have some articulation on there too, so you can see that also. So that's good. I want to see that. I kind of want to get the articulation. When I got that down, let's go ahead and see the articulation. So it is part of the arm, so it will come off when it, sorry about that, when it rubs against the clothes. So it is part of the figure, but with that piece off, he can go fully up. Just got to be careful with that. So let's go ahead and put that back on. Which way does it go? This way? Yep. All right. So let's see if that pegs in easily. Yeah, let's see. A little bit quiet here, but I'll get that on there. All right, I'll get that on later. I don't want to take too much time in the review. So I just wanted to get that. I kind of want to get that off, like I said, so I can see the articulation. All right, so let's bring that back down. You do get wrist articulation. It does pivot. And then, let's see. You do get some back bend. He can go a decent amount forward. Not too much. Not too much forward. The legs, this is all I want to see too. I want to see if the suit, see? So it's bunched in there for a reason, so it can give you that slack. So you can kind of have Wolverine doing a split. So that's good. This is why, like I said, the MEZCO ones, they give you a little bit of that slack so you can get some articulation there. And let's try with the leg up. So you get the leg up right there. So, of course, Wolverine can't do a high boot or Hogan boot because he is pretty short. But you could get the legs pretty far up and then pretty, not much far back, but you could do somewhat of a split. All right, so then see how you do see the creases there, but they do tend to heal themselves out over time if you straighten it out. And then the knees, you do get double joint on the knees, but you are a little hindered with the back of the shin hitting the back of the thigh. The thigh. You can see it right there. And then let's see if you get twisted the thighs. So you do get some twisted the thigh. You can hear that right there. So you get twisted the thigh. You get twisted the shin. Nope, no twisted the shins. The feet can go pretty decent far up. Decent amount far down. And you do not, you get a little bit pivot at the ankles. Not much. All right, so there's Wolverine. With the articulation, the belt seems like it's stuck on there, so it doesn't move around much. So that's good to know also. So there's Wolverine. I will put that shoulder pad back on afterwards. So let's go ahead and look at all the accessories it does come with. And I love this. This is more than likely the head sculpt I'm going to keep in my final display of Wolverine. This is Wolverine right here, man. Yelling, "Rah, Baraka Claw." Look at that mouth. Let's see if we can get this a little bit more close. You can see in that mouth. You can see the tongue. You can see all that screaming going on there for Wolverine. Love the way this one looks. I've always been a fan of the Wolverine, like the fins he had here in his mask. I'm kind of mad the movies never had him. They had the hair, but they never had him with the fin mask on. Hopefully when the MCU reintroduces the X-Men, they're going to have Wolverine with the mask on. I know every MCU stuff, they always take the mask off when they're fighting and stuff like that, but whatever. As long as he has the mask on, I'll be happy. This is another one, secondary option that I may have with him in my final pose. You got the screaming one and then like the growling one. So that looks good also. As you can see there, you can see the teeth. Good detail on the teeth, the wrinkles on the mouth, the eyes. Freaking Wolverine. Wolverine's the man. I love Wolverine. And then you do get, without the mask, and this looks like Wolverine from the comics and even a cartoon. You can see the beard, the sideburns right here going down. You can see the eyes, the eyebrows, the wrinkles in the head, the bangs, the hair in the back. I like that one too. And then you do have the different head sculpt that has more of the shorter hair, if you can tell. Look at the two right here. You can see the hair is a little more shorter and a little more cleaned up a little bit. So you get two options, which I like too. Let's put that down. And then you get, this is one you will have on his head. If you want to take the mask, like have it, like he has the mask off. This goes around the neck. And that's a cool little feature. I like that too. You can see all the ripples on there. So it looks like, you know, real cool feature to have him display with. I'm definitely going to have him display with one of those. Oh, excuse me. Then you get the other classic Wolverine mask, and then just more of the stern look on the mouth. No yelling, just like looking at you like, "What's up, bub?" Then this is the cool one right here. You get the battle damage mask. This one you see like the fins breaking right here. You see some of the hair sticking out. You see his adamantium skull. You see the adamantium through the cuts. You see the adamantium on his face. Some blood there. Scratches. And Wolverine's having a good time, man. Look at it. Look how happy he is right there. This is what Wolverine loves, man. But yeah, I like this head sculpt too. Definitely a cool sculpt to go with the base. And then you get more of a meaner grin with the old school mask. This is cool too. This was one, if I were to pick between the two old school masks, I'll say this is probably the better head sculpt. All right, so then you get, of course, his claws. You get a pair of the regular claws with the closed fists. And these are well done. Like that. Is there too soft? Yeah, they're very soft plastic, but the paint on them makes it look like it's metal. Has a nice metallic look. And then you get the same thing, closed fist, but you get the bone claws. And this, I do like the fact that they gave us the option with the bone claw. So you can basically have, this will make me want to get 2 Wolverines now. Kind of have one with the bone claw. I can't remember if the bone claw, when he had the old mask, if he had the bone claws too. I can't remember. I follow Wolverine more when he was in the X-Men and stuff. So Jim Lee stuff. Not too much early on. So I don't remember much. I remember in, was it Extinction Agenda? He had the bone claws? I could be wrong. But yeah, so you get 2. Love the way the bones look on these claws. Right here you can see the detail on there. You have that bone look to it. So you get that, and then you do get another pair of the claws exposed, but with the open hand somewhat. So it's gonna be more when he's like yelling or holding somebody by the throat or something. So that looks nice. Then you get 2 separate hands without the claws, one pointing and one like a gripping hand. And then you do get, it looks like the same with the other 2 hands. So these 2 hands right here, which looks kind of the same as the other one. I'm not sure why they gave us this one, but you get these right here too. So those are pretty cool. And then he does have the X-Men belt on here, but you do get a secondary belt, which I guess the belt does come out and it's not attached on there. I wonder how that comes off then. The instructions don't tell you how to replace the belt. Oh, there's a clip right here. I can see it right here. So if you see, there's a clip right there. So you basically unclip that, and more likely that's how you get the other one off too. But you got this one, which is the big buckle, and the fact that you can swap it out with the X-Men buckle. So I gotta look. I think this is the one that he has in the comics more. I could be wrong. But if I were to wear this one, I would definitely have the X-Men buckle on there. And then you do have, oh look, the buckle came off already. So it came off by itself. So that clips in with the 2 pegs in the back, as you can see right here. This is a soft plastic, or like soft plastic. So yep, and that comes off right there. It's like everything's just coming off now. Let's put this back on real quick. So it's good to know. And you do hear a clip when you buckle in. Here's the Sentinel eye. So you could basically have his claws. You see that hole right there? You can fit the claw through there. And he does come with this cool ass Sentinel base. It's all damaged up. It does light up. This is the button right here to turn it on, if I remember correctly. Batteries go in here. You got the on-off switch right here. Once you have this in the on position, you'll turn this on right here to light up I think the eyes light up. We'll definitely see them in the final displays. But you got the damaged Sentinel with all the claw marks all over it. Very cool base. Something I wish MEZCO does more often. And the eye can actually be inserted back in here. So you can actually have the eye hanging out halfway out. You can push it all the way in, or just have the eye completely hanging out. Different options with that, but this base looks cool. And not only do you get that base, if you don't want to use that base, you get the typical MEZCO base. This is the X-Men, has a plastic on there. I tend to leave mine on there sometimes, so it helps with the dust and everything. But it's up to you. The X-Men logo. And then you do get a bunch of the claw effects. And these are like a not too soft of plastic, a little bit harder of plastic. And the way these work is, you see these holes right here? So basically, these will slot into there. So you can have an effect as if he's doing the claw effect. So on the X one, there's 2 up here on the top or the bottom, and then 2 on the top. Then you do get 4 other ones. This is more of a swiping one. And then same thing here. You see these holes right there? These pegging right there. So that's how you would use these. I'm not sure if one's dedicated to a particular hand. I'm not sure. Left hand, right hand. Then you get this one, more of a straight swipe. Same thing. Has the holes right there. Peg it in right there. You're good to go. Then this is the other one that is more of like this one, but more of a rougher edge. This is more the clean cut, more of like a berserk swipe. And this one probably goes a little bit, if you notice, it's like levels. This is probably the clean, more berserk, more rough. And last but not least, you do get this big bulkier one. And this one, I think this one was more for like, I guess maybe when you're making impact on the figure. Like if you're having them wipe and this is making impact on the Sentinel. And this one's a little bit different. If it looks correctly, the slits are in there. That's how you use that. So basically, he'll have that as if he's making impact onto the Sentinel. If you're swiping down, like, see? Yeah, so there's everything that comes with Wolverine. A lot of awesome pieces. Makes me want to have two now. But my collection has to, it keeps growing, so I got to slow down a little bit with both scales. So definitely going to stick with one. But eventually down the line, if this guy doesn't sell out anytime soon, I do want to pick up another one. All right, let's go ahead and get some final thoughts. I'm sorry, let's get some size comparison started. Here's Wolverine standard default pose ready for a size comparison. And I want to go ahead and bring in another MEZCO figure. And this is going to be the MEZCO Captain America. So there we have Cap. Now let's go ahead and bring in another MEZCO figure. And this is going to be another badass. This is the MEZCO Judge Dredd. Now, I do want to bring a bigger scale figure, just something out of the random, and this is going to be the Takara Tomy Transformers Masterpiece Soundwave. Soundwave Superior. There we have Soundwave in the mix. One of my favorite, actually my favorite Transformer character. Let's bring another hothead in here, and this is going to be the SH Figure Arts Super Saiyan Vegeta. And last but not least, gotta bring in SH Monster Arts figure. And this is gonna be SH Monster Arts Baby Godzilla. So there we go. A good cast of characters and figures, all from different scales, except for the two MEZCOs next to Wolverine. Just a quick idea, if you have any of these figures, how this Wolverine will fit into your collection if you decide to get him, and I do recommend it. All right, let's do the final thoughts and final pose. For this final pose, I just want to grab the other two MEZCO Wolverines that I do currently have in my collection, just to kind of show what they look like in the process. Basically, the blue and yellow one was the first one I did grab. Then you got the Old Man Logan that came out not too far after that. Then you have the re-release of the yellow and blue costume right there. I know they did release, I could be wrong, is there one or two other versions of Wolverine without the costume, just like the jacket, the leather jacket and everything. Didn't really want to jump on that because that's more of the movie and the type of Wolverine I kind of don't collect. I have mine mostly in the costume base. Old Man Logan's a different story. He had the whole cool story in the comics based on him alone with Baby Hulk in his backpack. That was a cool version of Wolverine or Logan that I did want to have in my collection, so that's the reason I grabbed him. But yep, here's three so far. I do have my collection, and it kind of makes me wish I do maybe in the future pick up another yellow and blue costume one, so I could have him display with the old school mask and then have another version of him display with the newer mask. So on these final poses, I wanted to make sure I was able to get each of the head sculpts onto one of the poses and then the different claws and a different belt. So with this one, I wanted to kind of get a pose where Deadpool and Wolverine just took down a Sentinel, and basically right now they're relaxing. Deadpool's doing a, the little comedic type pose. Wolverine's taking his mask off to get fresh air, maybe get that cigar lit up. Hopefully something else. But anyways, here they are both together. And I want to point out one thing. As you see Wolverine rotating this way around, look at that left shoulder. If you see, the shoulder pad did come off on that arm too. So if you do articulate that arm too far up, just be warned that those shoulder pads will pop out. As you can see the little peg right there sticking on the bottom. I just basically slipped it onto there, so it's not fully on there. But just something to keep in mind if you do try to get some of these poses going on. Do not fear, the shoulder pads are easy to swap, peg back in, so no problem at all. But I did want to get a pose like this. Wish he did come with a cigar, or at least a head sculpt that had the cigar. That would have been cool right here. With him enjoying taking the mask off, getting that smoke in real quick after, the next fight coming up. The base is awesome so far. One thing I did want to point out too is the base. If you see on the base, there's a lot of those circle holes. You can actually take off the peg piece from the circle regular MEZCO base and plug them into those holes, so you can actually have Wolverine pegged into that base. So if you want to have him posed up in a dynamic pose, either jumping off the Sentinel or attacking the Sentinel, you can peg him in with no issue at all. So that's definitely a plus to have when you want to display this figure. And he does look cool with Deadpool right there. I do like that pose right there also. Simple pose real quick, so just want to try something different. I did want to get an example of what I meant in the previous final pose, where you can basically plug in that stand onto the Sentinel base, and basically you can have Wolverine jumping into action as he's about to take on Magneto right here. You know, Wolverine Magneto always be having like those like dire end of the life, borderline, almost killing each other type battles. So I kind of wanted to get Magneto in there for something like this. And this looks pretty cool. Now, like I said, this is just for the review. Obviously, if I put more time into it, do more adjusting, I can get better pose with Magneto's cape and hide some of the clear bases a little bit better. But like I said, for review basis, I wanted to give you guys an example of how each accessory piece and mask will look on the Wolverine. He's a little wobbly there, so I'm a little nervous right there. But it looks good right here. As you can see, Wolverine's scraped up in the face in that freaking close to death battle with Magneto. He's about to jump at him, do his berserker claw type thing from the video game, and this looks good. Now, one thing is those claw, like this effects piece, on some of them, I'm not sure if they're dedicated to one hand or one claw, but they too tend to kind of have a hard, like at least the left claw. I had a hard time getting those pieces in there on the left claw. But once you get them in there, you gotta kind of have to, you kind of have to basically open the claws a little bit more to kind of get them fit in there perfectly. But once you get in there, they do stay pretty good, and they look pretty good right there. And the belt was easy to swap out. When you do take off the other belt, there is going to be some kind of stickiness to the previous belt since it was packaged with the previous belt. So just something to keep an eye on. But other than that, everything else was easy to swap out. The shoulder piece, shoulder pad does come off easily, easy to put back on. Cool ass pose right here. I do like this pose right here. But this is not going to be my final pose. My final pose for my Wolverine is going to come about now. And in this final pose, I want to go ahead and get the other two MEZCO X-Men characters I do have, Cyclops and Gambit. Gambit being my second favorite X-Men and Marvel character. I want to say it probably goes Spider-Man, Gambit, and then Wolverine. But here are the three so far. And I'm looking forward to completing, at least getting the rest of the ones that they have for the X-Men line. Bishop, a few other ones that are coming out pretty soon. I know MEZCO, they're kind of starting to go to the trend of like Hot Toys where they announce a figure and then kind of like wait a year or two before the figure comes out, which kind of sucks, but it does give me time to collect and get other figures from different lines that I do collect. But I'm loving the way my X-Men figures are coming out because this to me says Jim Lee all the way. Now I know MEZCO does change things a little bit, but like I said to me before, compared to all the lines out there, maybe Mayfex and some other ones are better, but at least for the ones with soft goods, I think MEZCO comes the closest to the comics with a little bit change, but something that when you do see them, you know right away where the source material comes from. And I'm super happy about that because like I said, unfortunately Hot Toys doesn't go that route yet. Hopefully they do with some, in the future with some more comic line figures. I would love if that happens, but for now, MEZCO has my heart and my place when it comes to comic books, soft good figures to collect. And like I said, the suits can hold the poses without causing damage in the long run, majority of the time. Not for all the figures, but most of them. And I just love that. Because like I said, to me, combo characters are just hard for me to walk by my collection and see a combo character in a museum pose. I need to have them some kind of like displaying either kind of their ability or some kind of weapon or something they do in the cartoon or in the comic when I have them displayed. And this is going to look beautiful when I have the rest of my X-Men characters. Nothing really issue-wise with the figure other than the shoulder pads popping out once in a while. And then using some of those claw effects are kind of a pain in the butt. This is a good pose. I would like to have Wolverine, but I know over time the claw effect is going to cause some curving, maybe some bending on the claws right there. So I don't think I'm going to have that for final display. I'll probably just throw something else up there. But I want to have something like this, my setup for my X-Men. So collectors, if you enjoyed this review and you enjoyed this figure, you can still get him. He's available. I know Big Bad Toy Store still has him for about 150. He was sold out at first, but they did get more in stock. So if you want to get this and you missed out on the first run, you have the opportunity now to grab him. And I think it's worth it for the amount of accessories and posabilities and display options you have for him. So this was, to me, a very good pickup for my MEZCOs. It's been a while since I picked up a new MEZCO. So it kind of got me excited for the MEZCOs again, at least posing wise, display wise. So looking forward to it, enjoying the figure, love the accessories, and love that base. And I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, please hit that like, subscribe button. Click that bell notification. And as always, collector, keep collecting, stay safe, be good, dale.